Okay, what's up everybody, how's it going? It's back, aka Dansgreat here, and welcome to the first live stream of 2026. Let me know if you can see the stream and if you can hear me before we get going with the first session of the year. Alright, nice. Yeah, I'm starting a little bit later than usual. I think maybe for now I'm going to do 2 PM UK time instead of 1:30. It just gives me that little bit of extra time to do some more stuff during the day before the stream starts. Because normally I finish at like 4:30 or so. And then I'm usually pretty tired after stream. For me at least, it's because I don't do it very often. And maybe I think everyone's just a bit different with how they feel after a stream. With me, it takes a lot out of me. And so I don't tend to do too much after the stream, so it kind of ends my day. So I'm like, if I'm going to end it anyway, I'll end it closer to 5 instead of 4:30. And I think that might work a little better for me. So we'll try that for now. I hope everybody had a good holiday period and New Year. Sorry I haven't been around too much, but I think pretty much everybody watching the stream will be up to date with what's been going on. And just basically wanting to take some time away from regular content creation and streaming and all that stuff. But as of last week, I have been back and I've started to work on new content. So I've been working for like the last week and a half or so, preparing some new stuff. Again, just trying to get ahead, build up a little bit of a head of steam before actually starting to drop anything on the channel. And then once things get going this week, so we've got the Cid tier list coming up first. I think I'm going to drop that tomorrow probably. Yeah, I think I'll drop that one tomorrow. And then on Friday most likely I'll drop part 1 of World of Final Fantasy, and that's how we'll get going with content on the channel. And then as of next week things will start to look a little more normal, where we'll have Monday to Friday content and then these live stream VODs and all that kind of stuff. So that's generally what to expect for the next couple weeks. Nice to see those familiar names in there. Good to see everybody. Thank you for joining me once again. Good to see you, Micahs. Okay, so let me take another minute or two just to get myself and everybody back up to speed. I think maybe one good thing that this break has done is that it might have given people time to catch up on some content that they might not have been able to. Because I just had so much stuff going on the channel for months. It was just like, it was like 200 videos in 4 months or something. It was insane. And this one, I think because of the whole VOD structure and that kind of thing, obviously there are a lot of people following it along in the VODs. I think there's like 2,000-3,000 people that are watching it in VOD form. So I'm hoping that gave people time to catch up, and maybe some of those people might be more able to hang out on the streams or just be generally caught up with the series. So what's happening is that we have somehow made it all the way to Sanctuary Keeper in the Final Fantasy X Auto-Haste challenge. And the challenge is that every single enemy that we face is permanently auto-hasted. And so there's nothing we can do about it. We can't slow them back down or anything like that. And so we have to deal with the consequences of fighting enemies that are twice as fast as they normally should be. And then I decided to kind of start things off in no sphere grid just for kicks, just to see how much that changes things and how quickly things start to get out of control. And even though things kind of got out of control, we managed to somehow keep things no sphere grid the entire run so far. And so we've made it this far, and we have not activated anything on the sphere grid. And we still have the same agility that we started with right at the beginning. So that's been pretty insane. Obviously I've done a lot of challenges in my time, but this one, I had no idea how this was going to go because I never tried it, I never thought about it, I just didn't know how feasible it would be. And somehow we've made it this far. So it's been pretty good. I've added a couple of extra little things just to keep it more interesting. And that's been, for example, we're not allowed to haste ourselves for now. So I'm still keeping that because that's still one of the core elements of the challenge I want to keep. Like the difference in speed between you and the enemy is what makes it a challenge. And so if we start to speed ourselves up, obviously it's still a bit harder than a normal no sphere grid, but I think it loses a lot of the appeal for someone who's done a lot of challenges like me. So that's what we've been doing, and that's still been successful for now. And that's been one of the main kind of things. And we picked up these underdog secrets because of all the Albed primers that we have. I haven't used any of these. These are something that I could potentially end up using, but for now I've done my best to keep off of these as well, because again, these are some of the most broken things that you can use, and so we'll try to stay away from them as long as possible. And for boss fights, have I done any summoning in boss fights? I don't remember what I've been doing with the summoning, honestly. This series has gone a lot longer than I thought. Like, I thought we'd probably have to kind of change it up or wrap it up in some way, and so we're in overtime at the moment. I don't remember. I've definitely summoned, I think, but during like boss fights, I've been trying to not summon, I think. Not entirely sure. It's just been so much content and so much stuff going on that remembering specifics of stuff that happened like 3 months ago or whatever, 5 months ago, I just don't have it. So that brings us to today, in any case, and I ended the last session on Sanctuary Keeper. We gave it an initial go and we got absolutely destroyed. So why don't we just kind of do the same thing we did, just to refresh ourselves and give people a little more time to enter the stream, just to give you guys some action, and then we'll start to think about what we're actually trying to do here and how we're going to hopefully get through Sanctuary Keeper.
It comes.
Okay, so one of the biggest problems we have with this guy is the photon wings. The photon wings is an attack that's like part of its cycle that we can't really avoid, and it has fixed damage. So even if you try to afflict breaks and that kind of thing, that photon wings attack is guaranteed to do 937 to 1058 damage. I took a couple notes before starting here, just to give you guys the info that we need. And so that means that Sir Auron is the only one who can naturally survive photon wings, and that's obviously a bit of a no sphere grid thing. If you had your normal stats here, yes, 1000 is significant damage, but everyone should be surviving it. But obviously in no sphere grid, it's a whole different beast. And so Auron is the only one who can survive, which it's good that we have someone who can survive, but the bad news is Auron is like the slowest character, the joint slowest character that we have. And so how are we going to navigate trying to take this guy down? Now, I think because we do have 3 people with evade encounter, I'm thinking that's probably already going to do quite nicely for us. Waka is the other one who does. And what we also have is Riku's items to afflict statuses. We've got Riku's overdrives, and we actually have Waka's overdrive too. I think, was it last session, did I experiment with Kimari's overdrive, the bad breath? I think the problem with that one was that the affliction rates were too low. It doesn't have as powerful an affliction rate as something like status reels, for example. So Kimari isn't quite as useful as I had hoped. I thought he'd be another guy that could use something like bad breath to really get those effects on, but I think it failed, if I remember correctly. So we need to figure out how to keep this guy under those status effects as much as we can, because once you do that, you can take away some of its turns. You can, depending on how you treat it, you can stop it from casting Curaga on itself. I think it's going to be a battle in which we have to try and afflict statuses and then stay alive long enough for the statuses to basically kill it. I think that's probably what we're looking at here. Okay. So he's going to die anyway. Let's just start off with a status reels and see what happens. Been a while since I did these. I think I only need to get 2 of them. But status reels is very easy. It's just Aurochs reels. It's a lot harder. Okay, so what do we got? We've got poison and we got darkness. In terms of what you can afflict it with, you can do darkness, you can do poison, you can do slow, which we can't do. because it's in Auto-Haste. You can threaten this guy, which again we can't do, and you can afflict the brakes on it. It's got some resistance to power and magic break, I think, but you can afflict the brakes also. I think honestly the brakes are probably not that important in this one because we've got darkness and we've got evade and counter for the swiping attack and the tail sweep, which are both evadable. Mana Breath, I think even if we magic break it, I think it's still a one-hit KO. So I don't think there's... we'd have to like double Auron's HP and put Shell on him or something. Or maybe just double his HP. I don't know. Honestly, with Magic Break and Shell, maybe Mana Breath is survivable. Maybe that's something we'd have to think about in future attempts. For now, at least, what I need to do is survive Photon Wings, and then I need to revive my allies. And so, obviously, if we don't do anything, that's 3 turns in a row. So I'm just going to swap to here. I think he's probably going to need some level of customization because Photon Wings is really nasty. It's got 50% chance of sleep, 50% chance of confuse, I think, or is it 25? Let me double check that. Confuse is 25%, yeah. So 25% confuse and 50% sleep, and if you get hit with either of those, then that's a big problem. So the chances of coming through one of these like unscathed, I think, is pretty low. But if he does, then he'd be able to maybe use something like a Mega Phoenix to revive. So we'll just see what happens here, but this is not a very good setup, I think, for this. Poison Proof, Stone Ward, Dark Ward. Yeah, I think most of this is not that helpful. We're just going to keep it here for now. And maybe we get to toss like a Chaos Grenade or something. I don't want to use it now because it's already got the statuses. I'm just going to throw one on in case he gets hit with a Mana Beam, if I can use a Chaos Grenade. I think this will be over pretty fast after Photon Wings. I think we probably have to customize to have a realistic chance here. I think we're relying on too much RNG. Yeah, there's the sleep. That was a 50%. And now he can't evade and counter because he's asleep and the fight is over. So I think Auron, we have to focus on trying to keep him alive. And well, unaffected from those statuses. So let's reload this one. And take a look at what we got. So I think that's where I'm going to start. We're going to look to see what we can do with Auron. We have been stealing as we've been coming up. Yeah, it would not be the first time Auron has done some carrying in challenges. Hey Real, welcome to the stream. Good to see you. Reminiscent of a Masters mod first attempt. True. Yeah, this fight in that sense is pretty front-loaded. Like, he comes in, obviously, literally the first attack is something as bad as Photon Wings. So you can get destroyed pretty quickly. Now, I don't need a sleep proof, really. I only need to protect 50%. So I'm thinking, should I just keep this? Like, this isn't a particularly great armor. Maybe I'll save the sleep proof for if he gets something with a few more slots. Maybe we can do it then. I think it's still early days. Let's just throw one of these on. That should already help. So then we only have to worry about 25% confusion. And yeah, picking up musks are always a little bit annoying, and I think the requirements for it are quite high. I mean, Confuse Ward, because confusion is so detrimental, like they want to keep it like a really dangerous status, so they make you work for it if you want some significant confusion protection. Oh damn, Michael's getting the party started. Thank you very much, sir. Enjoy the gifted memberships, my friends. Hey, Rainbow Muffins, good to see you. Yes, indeed, we're still no Sphere Grid. We're just a little longer. Yeah, that's classic Michael's behavior. Just drops in, gives some memberships, and then leaves without too much explanation. What a legend. It's a shame you can't stay, of course, but thank you very much for the support as always. So what we can do, if we really want to, they've obviously left you in a place where if you want to farm for Confused Ward, you can. Because we can steal some musks from the floating eyes or whatever they're called. Wow, 80 months for Surgeon. Insane. The Strago badge as well. Yeah, seeing those numbers is wild, and it's another one of those where I'm like, holy shit, man, time has gone by so fast. It feels like only a few years ago that you were even allowed to have memberships and badges and all that stuff, and before you know it, there's people that have been a member for like 80 months, and it's just, whoa. Time just flies. Now, one final thing we need to do, I almost forgot, is we have to give him a little bit of HP here. Because his natural HP is 1030, and that, again, it puts you like in the RNG situation, because it can do up to 1058 damage. And so I don't think you want to be using... I don't think you want to be using too much luck for that, so maybe we do this. Let me see what happens. Leia Moon, member for 9 months, thank you so much, and welcome to the stream. Yeah, that time just always flies by. I mean, still my general rule of thumb is that for me, for the last, I don't know, 5 years or something at least, maybe since the pandemic, it feels like everything's been on ×2 speed. My perception of time is on like a ×2 speed. Things that I think were like, I don't know, 3 years ago, or actually 6 years ago, things that I think were 2 weeks ago was actually last month, stuff like that. Okay, so what we're going to do differently this time is just try and set Oren up in a way in which he can hopefully survive without being put to sleep, and confusion is the only threat, and we'll see if that helps us get a little further in the fight.
It comes.
Yeah, you might be hearing that line a few times. Yeah, it's going okay. We're just easing into it. It usually takes like a good half an hour to an hour for most people to show up, so I'm just taking it nice and slow. That's one thing I've learned from my streaming experiences, is to not like go too hard at the start of sessions. Like give people time to get in and get settled, and then like if the most exciting thing of a live stream happens within the first 15 minutes, it's not as great. You kind of need to build up to it a little bit. It's all experience. Okay. Now, how do we want to do this? What if I need to swap to evade encounter anyway. So it feels to me like this opening... This opening little gambit I think is okay for now. Let's just see how it goes. Mandolino, good to see you. Thank you, I missed you guys too. I was a little nervous like before the stream, especially when it's been a little while, just getting back into it, just like, is everything gonna work? You know, like, am I gonna have technical issues? Is everything set up okay? Am I gonna remember how to play this game? All that stuff. It kind of plays with your mind a little bit, and then after a little bit of time you start to get used to it again, and you just start to relax and enjoy yourself. Okay, so the difference this time is that we have this guy, and we'll see how much it helps. I'm definitely willing to use some Mega Potions, Mega Phoenixes here, to win. Do we just gun for some extra damage here? What's its elemental affinities like? Its elementals are normal. I'm just thinking, like, should I just throw in some extra damage? She's going to die either way. Again, I don't really want to use the overdrive, but I guess, again, she dies immediately afterwards, so maybe I should. Maybe it's better. Let's just see what happens. I need to have a look at this. These are the types of things that I do forget and not do as well when I've had a break. Basically, I'm thinking, what if I throw a Chaos Grenade? At least we'll get some breaks on in case it helps in some way. And it does a big chunk of damage. I don't know. Let's just try it. We're still just experimenting for now. Basically, with the poison damage as well, we're trying to obviously take away that 40,000 as quickly as possible. So let's just see what happens here. I think if Auron gets confused, it's already, like, it was a waste of time. To make him really bulletproof, you have to protect against confusion and sleep. Yeah, he got confused there. There you go, perfect. So, I think that was unlucky. There's only a 25% chance of that happening. I think that was a bit crap. We're going to try that again, but I'm just going to go through faster this time. Just basically try the same opening. And see what happens. Because I think for Auron right now, with the armors that he does have, there's no way to 100% protect him, I think. Because if I swap the HP plus 10% with Confuse Ward, then he can just die from the pure damage, unless I use a stamina tablet. So you could potentially stamina tablet him from the start, which is another idea. Which would potentially help him if he gets confused as well. But I'm really trying to hold on to the stamina tablet as long as I can. How would we get them again at this stage? Would we have to go back to the Moonflow to get these again? Hey, All Too Funny, welcome to the stream. Good to see you. Photon Wings is basically kind of pre-decided, follows a cycle. We wouldn't have time to heal. Yeah, we wouldn't have time to get him up to full HP as well. For now, let's just stick to what I did last time. I just want another go at it and see what happens if we manage to survive. Cavern of Stolen Faith. Yeah, okay. The magic urn pot thing, depending how lucky you get, can give you a stamina tablet. Okay. Yeah. Let's still just do this for now. I think so far we've been a little unlucky to not see past the first Photon Wings. Okay. Yeah, it's not the best way to farm for stamina tablets. That's for sure. So yeah, I was like, Riku's gonna die anyway, why don't we just toss a Chaos Grenade and just see what happens. 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeesh. Alright, here we go again. 25% confusion chance. Okay, good. So he's guaranteed to survive it in terms of the damage, so sometimes it will look really close, but he's 100% safe in terms of damage, as long as he has maximum HP. Because it cannot do more than 1058 damage. Okay, so now I'm going to just sacrifice this, and I'm hoping the next two moves that it has are just a normal attack, and it shouldn't be able to hit anybody. Because we've got Evade and Counter, and it has Darkness. Okay. Alright, there we go. Perfect. So now we have the problem of Mana Breath being next, and if this hits Auron, we won't be able to like revive him and get him ready before the next Photon Wing, so I'm wondering if now is a good time to swap Auron out just to guarantee survival here. Someone will definitely die here, I think. Let's just see. How much damage as well, I want to know. 1,007. Okay, so with a shell, Auron could survive it. Okay, so now what this guy is going to do is it's going to basically heal itself on its next turn. So I'm just going to wait. Has the Lulu backhand been tested? Instead of Isuna, it did that. I think maybe it depends how many status effects it has. Or maybe it's because armor broken. Okay. Curious what it's going to do on the next turn. Basically, as soon as it heals itself, I kind of want to put it back under poison immediately, basically. So there's the heal. And then what's coming next is... it's going to get 2 turns. So Auron being this slow here was a problem. It's going to be Photon Wings and then it's going to get the next move. But Auron will be able to evade it. As long as he's... yeah, he should be fine. Oh, I've got the wrong... I think I've got the wrong overdrive mode for Riku. I think she's on, like, Tactician. Otherwise, she could have a full overdrive. 16,000. Let's see what happens here. Yeah, because then I'd be able to just toss a second overdrive. He evades that. Mana Breath. Okay. I'd say it's gone pretty well so far. Is Yuna quick enough to get the turn? Because again, this is a free turn, like it's not going to do damage to us here. Let's just get him healed. Yeah, I generally agree. I think his HP is a little low. I think they really cooked with the mechanics of this boss. But I think a lot of players by this stage, they just have enough raw firepower to just blast through and you never get to enjoy it. Like this guy should have had at least like 60. At least 60, maybe 70. I think that would have been a lot fairer. Because like a lot of its best stuff just doesn't come through because you can beat it so easily. Alright, here we go again. Hey Game Freak, yes, it's no Sphere Grid still. So this time it managed to... yeah, this time it managed to get the poison off. Let's see what we can do here. Yeah, swapping Tidus in, obviously that's the danger. Yeah, that did not go well. I think the problem here is it could... I think it's going to use Curaga on itself. Yeah, this is where the fight can slip away. Yeah, I think it's game over in that sense, probably. Even if we afflict it with something now, it will just use a Sunna and then get another turn. So this is where like its really cool mechanics will count against you. Because even if you re-afflict something here, it's not going to be enough. Okay. But I think this was a pretty good attempt. Yeah, I did. There's VODs for this playlist, so if you want to see how I did anything up until this point, they're all available. But I think this attempt's over. But I think we will need to... I think we'll need to try and make use of Reflect. So this will be the end. Asuna. Oh, I put regen on. Interesting. But photon wings anyway. Whatever. Okay. Hey Andrea, welcome to the stream. Good to see you. So we were doing pretty well, then we got cooked. But not too bad. What we're going to do next is take things up another notch and introduce Reflect. Let's have a look.
It comes.
Yeah, I think I have to say on my first playthrough, I just thought Sanctuary Keeper looked really cool. And I like the fight and like the background, like the sunset, all that stuff. But in terms of the battle itself, I don't remember too much. I think my first playthrough I was using a lot of summons, like summon overdrives. And I think once you start including things like summon overdrives at this level, you already start to do a lot of damage. Okay, let me think about this a little differently here. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to do this. So I think we're going to start the same. Going to put the poison and the darkness on. And then we're going to put Reflect on it. Because when you put Reflect on it, it starts to get a little confused. And it really helps your chances. I forgot exactly how it behaves. I didn't note down exactly what it does when it's reflected, but it always makes for a fun situation. It's got some good, really good mechanics, but I think Reflect, if you utilize it right, you can really mess with this guy. So I think Reflect is the way to go. We were able to steal some Star Curtains, which help us out as well. Only thing is, the last fight we got a bit lucky with confusion. Auron didn't get confused once. But this time, it might be a little different. So, let's try this. So, it wants to Asuna itself. It wants to protect. It wants to Curaga. But it won't be able to do those things. Yeah, we were overdue a confusion. I had a funny feeling that was going to happen. I think we'll take that one. And take that one. Straight back in. As I say, I think at the moment I literally can't cover everything with Auron. I'd need...
It comes.
Just thinking if I start with a stamina tablet, could I guarantee it and then toss the Reflect at the Star Curtain second time round? Maybe that helps. So again, finding that balance between just like RNG and trying to shut down everything could be an option. So the downsides here, if I use a stamina tablet, Auron won't be able to heal. Like, Auron basically has to switch weapon. Otherwise, he's too slow. I'm just thinking, like, that would... Even if he got confused and hit himself, he wouldn't die. So that's why it would be quite nice, but... Maybe if he just has Protect... Nah. I think he'd still kill himself with Protect. Yeah, I think he does too much damage. I'm gonna do Final Fantasy VIII No Junction. I have something in mind for Final Fantasy VIII. I did tease at the end of my Final Fantasy X-2 Escape from V Infinito challenge that I want to potentially look into Final Fantasy VIII Escape from Ultimecia Castle, and that's what I'm potentially looking to do. So you might well see some Final Fantasy VIII content in the future. I haven't done anything for it yet. I'm still trying to figure out like what to do for it, like where to warp from essentially, and how to structure it. Like also probably do No Junction as well, etc. So we'll see. Hey Francisco, welcome back to streams as well. Good to see you. Ah, okay, so I can talk shit about Francisco. Nice. But yeah, if anyone didn't watch Final Fantasy X-2 Escape from V Infinito, ended up being a really fun challenge. Would recommend. I think for now, let's just see if I can survive this confusion one time. Use my final stamina tablet here, just to see if I can minimize the RNG. Alright, here we go. Hope you enjoy World of Final Fantasy. I think it's very underrated. I've played about, I think, 5 or 6 hours so far, and I've been enjoying it. It's been fun so far. I like it. I think with that game, my expectations are not that high. I'm expecting like a 7 out of 10 kind of game. So if it is a 7, 7.5, then that will already be like good. I won't have any complaints about that. With like Tactics, for example, my expectations were definitely higher. I was expecting something like pretty awesome for that. And it was. It was a really great game. Okay, so we need Auron to survive now. Yeah. Huh. So we need to get a little lucky here and hope that Mana Breath isn't used, or do we use the same trick here and try to do this? I think I'm gonna ride my luck, because if this does work, it will help a fair bit. But I still need to get Shell on him as well. So I think there's just a lot of things to prep. I think this is Waka. Yeah. Okay. Now. It's probably gonna do... Maybe now is the time for... It's tough though, because if it does use the Reflect, it will get 2 moves back to back. Let me just do this. Just want to see how it behaves here. It's been a while since I've been using... There you go. Okay, that's what we wanted. I just need to get that poison back on. I haven't had enough turns to do that. And even if Kimari had a full overdrive, like, I wouldn't be able to do it. Okay. So now I believe, even if I get confused, I think I survive, but because he is confused, he can't revive the others. So I think still, if he gets confused, it probably just doesn't work. But now that Reflect's on there, I need to keep a close eye on things. Okay, got a bit lucky there. Got a bit lucky there. Let me just put in a faster character. Again, we're guaranteed to survive this turn. Let's just see what happens. Okay. So now we get the stasis back on again. And let's see what happens. Ah shit, Tide is trying to avoid that. Oh, it's got darkness. Okay, good. Woo! Yeah, tried and failed. Basically, eventually it does a thing where it also puts Reflect on you so that it can bounce things back. I just forgot if that's like a RNG thing as to whether or not it does it. Or it needs a certain amount of other things to happen first. I have a limited number of Mega Phoenixes though, so I can't go too hard. Gotta be careful. Ah shit, 2 turns in a row. Yeah, you really gotta map out Auron's turns well here, otherwise, basically if it gets 2 turns back to back, that's pretty dangerous. I don't think it's gonna work here. I think if we get confused, it's game over. Okay. We can also get our Mega Phoenixes back, so that's another thing that I don't mind using them all for this fight, potentially. Okay, avoided. Who's gonna get hit? It's Auron this time? Okay. The Sinner didn't work. Good. Okay. Hey Crisscross, welcome to the stream. Good to see you. Alright, 19,000. I think we need to bring Auron back. ASAP. Yeah, okay. So this is where you see the intelligence, and that's where I was like, I forgot exactly when it does reflect. Because it tried to bounce it. Sorry, it did it on itself unsuccessfully and bounced it back to us, and then suddenly it was like, oh, wait a minute, I know what to do. Let me put Reflect on the party. But I'm always like, how does that realization happen? Is it based on RNG, or it tries and fails a couple times and then it does it? Let me have a quick look. It's one of the best, like, mechanics here. Yeah, but that's easier said than done. I might not be able to KO the one with Reflect. So we do need to take out Riku here. We don't have a choice, but we need Auron to have, to have maximum HP at the same time. So we can't... Again, we don't have the turns to do it, because... Yeah, Auron needs max HP to survive the next Photon Wings. And so this is how he can start to overpower you. If I kill Riku to stop the spell bouncing, then it just wouldn't work. So I think we have to heal. Yeah, obviously I get the idea, but what I'm saying is you won't be able to pull it off here. You have to prioritize keeping Auron alive. He survived a lot of the confusions, I have to say. Wow, that was fortunate. So that actually worked out pretty well. That worked out pretty well. We definitely dodged a bullet there. Auron again. Is it reflect first? Ah, shit. This time it's going to pull it off because it's going to get 2 moves. Okay. Ah, but we've done enough that it's within Chaos Grenade range. We've won. What other spell was there? Mix was there that did a lot of damage. Like, Tallboy, I think, did a lot of damage. Is it like a less expensive mix? So the poison just about did enough work there. I just want to have a quick look at... I think Tallboy is an expensive one. I just don't know if it is the best one to choose here or not. So we hung in there long enough to finish it off now. Just want to see if Chaos Grenade is like worse in terms of the mixed ingredients that you need. Let's have a look. It seems similar kind of level, honestly. Yeah. Well, I think it's even a little higher, maybe. Or a similar level. Let's just play it safe. And just use these. And that should be game over. Boom. There you go. So definitely had some RNG going there. Auron not getting confused throughout the entire fight. I think it was one of those where he didn't need the double HP. Of course. I was trying to strategize around like the whole confusion thing, but whatever. Let's watch some cool scenes.
Hey, can't we rest a little?
No need. We reach the summit soon.
I know. That's why I want to stop for a bit. Soon means that there's not much time left.
Riku.
Fine. I'll think on the way.
Okay, let's see what we got first, and then we'll launch into all the cutscenes. Half time. 2 return spheres is nice. The overkill gets us 2 of those.
Hey, come on, let's go.
We are. Almost there, aren't we?
We've come a long way.
What's so funny?
You remind me of myself. Before, the closer I came to Zanarkand, the more I wondered. When we arrive, Braska will call the final Aeon. He will fight Sin, then die. I thought my mind was made up long before. But when I stood here, my resolve wavered.
Never would have figured. Legendary Guardians choke sometimes too, yeah?
Legendary Guardian. I was just a boy. A boy about your age, actually. I wanted to change the world too. But I changed nothing. That is my story.
His scenes, man. His scenes. They're always so great. Never misses those Auron scenes. Yeah, he definitely starts getting more like introspective once we get towards Zanarkand. The aura farm, indeed. He was aura farming like decades before aura farming was even part of the lexicon. Awesome. Okay, let's see this halftime for Waka. Okay, fine. Let's keep going. Hey VMC, welcome to stream. Good to see you. And so yes, what we are going to have is quite a lot of cutscene. and dialogue, so I'll mute the mic and just enjoy it with you guys. As I've been saying, this is also a bit of a story playthrough. I've been wanting to properly watch and enjoy the cutscenes and the dialogue of the game. It's actually been quite a long time since I did that properly for a playthrough from start to finish, because I use cutscene remover quite a lot, because I'm mostly obviously focused on the challenges and that kind of thing these days. But yeah, getting to enjoy the story once again has been awesome. Zanarkand arrival. Always a special time in the game.
A city dead for 1,000 years. A city I had to see with my own eyes. The end of Yuna's journey. The last chapter in my story. My thoughts, they kept floating up and then slipping through my fingers. Slipping away before I could pin them down with words.
Yuna, I say no. If we go down there, then you'll...
Riku, you're a true friend, and I thank you, but I must go. Down to Zanarkand.
I'm not saying we shouldn't go. But shouldn't we think about it some more? There's gotta be some kind of way we can save you, Yuna!
All my life, I knew this moment would come.
Yuni...
Thank you, Riku. Thank you for everything.
Don't say that, Yuni. It's not over yet.
Tell Sid, thank you.
No. You can tell him yourself.
Please.
Yuni, don't say that because we're gonna see each other again, okay?
Kimari, let's go. Sir Orin, Kimari told me, when my father wanted me taken from Bavel to Besaid, it was you who told Kimari, right? I had always wanted to meet you someday. I am truly glad that I had that chance. Having you as a guardian was so great an honor. I don't know how to thank you. Perhaps, if I defeat Sin, that will be my thanks to you. That's what I'll do. Yes. I will challenge Sin. I will defeat Sin. If you are all there watching this, then I guess Sin is already gone. And so am I. I suppose. Anyway, I just wanted to say, Sir Orin, I thank you. Kimari, do you remember the first day we met? I was only 7. My father had defeated Sin, and all Bavel was celebrating. Everyone was saying what a hero my father was. I was so happy. But when night came, it occurred to me. My father had defeated Sin, and now he was dead. Now, I was all alone. I couldn't sleep. So I wandered into the town, away from the celebrating crowds. I stood on the bridge in Bavel, where my father and I had parted. Standing there, alone, I could see the fields where he had fought sin. Then, you appeared, Kimahri. You said you were looking for the daughter of Braska, remember? At first, I was so scared. Until I realized what a gentle person you are. You weren't used to talking to children. When I told you that I was Braska's daughter, you said you would take me as far from Bavel as you could. That it was the wish of a man facing death. I think I cried then, because that was when I knew my father was dead, and I would never see him again. You just held me, without saying a word. I cried after we got to Besaid, too. When you tried to go, after leaving me in the care of the temple, I held on to you crying, "Don't go, don't go." And you listened, Kimahri. You stayed. Kimahri, thank you. Thank you so much. And I've always liked your broken horn. Wakka, Lulu. I'll never forget my days spent with you, growing up in Besaid. We always played together, us and Chapu. That's why I was always so happy, I think. And when you refused to let me become a summoner, and I did it anyway, I'm sorry. I've always wanted to apologize. You know, when you tried to stop me then, really, I was happy. I could tell you really cared about me. You were like my big brother and sister. No, I think you really were my big brother and sister. What else? I love watching you play blitzball, Wakka. I even love it when you scold me, Lulu. Really. I guess that leaves the newest Guardian. Star player of the Zanarkand Abes. You are... I am... Well, I'm glad... I'm glad that we met. We haven't even known each other that long, but... It's funny. So this is what it feels like. It's a much more wonderful feeling than anything I had ever imagined. Wonderful. But it hurts sometimes. I wonder. I just want to say thank you for everything. Maybe that's why it hurts. When I think about us never being together again at all, I'm afraid. No, I shouldn't say that. I'll do that part over.
What you up to?
And there it is, Yuna's monologue. It's kind of interesting that she never, you know, she's like, oh, I'll do that part over. That was all the way back in Mihen, and until then she basically never, it's kind of untouched since then. But yeah, I always love the way that she delivers that monologue. It's so good. Like, she carries it so well. Like, you I don't know, for me at least, I've always just been, I could just listen to that for like 5 minutes straight and not get bored, you know? Like, these monologues, they're not easy to pull off, like when a character talks for that long. but I think they've always done a really nice job with that one. And Hedy, I think, always did some of her best work in that monologue as well. Hey Joe, welcome to stream. Good to see you. Now, one thing I actually noticed, I don't know if anyone else did, this one of those where I've played the game so many times over so many years that maybe I've done this before and I've literally forgotten that I've done it. But the scene where basically it's facing the Mihen High Road like travel agency, and the camera just stays static for like 3 minutes or something. Normally with this, I'm so just like engrossed in what she's saying and I'm just listening that I just either I put the controller down or I'm resting it and I just watch. And obviously you have Kimahri walking past and things like that, and I just assume like they've just, you know, they've left the camera on there to represent the sphere and that kind of thing. But for the first time today, I was just screwing around. I was like, it is a bit unusual that they just leave the camera there for like 2 or 3 minutes straight and it's just doing nothing. And I just started tilting the controller, like analog stick to the left, and the camera actually started to pan. So you can actually pan the camera there. So I don't know if you guys noticed I panned towards Oren. That was me doing that. I don't know if I've ever done that before, but that was really interesting. So the next time I see that scene, I'm going to mess around with the camera a bit more. You can actually, I think you can move the camera, because I think you're like, it's like controlling the sphere camera, so to speak. So rewind it if you guys want, like look back a few minutes, and that bit where basically before it transitions into the next shot, it ends up facing, like I pan the camera left towards Oren. That was me manually controlling the camera. And I'm pretty sure I haven't done that before, but not certain. Maybe I did it once like 15 years ago and I was like, oh, that's cool, and I just forgot about it, but I thought that was pretty interesting. So yeah, that was pretty cool. Yeah, it was literally the fact that the control, like it was kind of like this particular shot that you're seeing here. I was like, I know that the monologue is the important thing here, but it's a little weird that like there's so little going on here. And then I was like, why don't I try moving the camera? It does look like it's on a tripod or something, and it moved. So that was kind of interesting. Let's go.